Hello there and welcome back to Gemma Movie Recap. In today's video, we're gonna explain a 2017 Japanese samurai action movie called Blade of the Immortal. The film is based on the manga series of the same name, which follows an immortal samurai named Manji who is hired by a young orphan girl named Rin to avenge her parents' deaths. Manji, a skilled samurai, begins the film on the run with his insane sister Maki, whose husband Manji was killed a few years ago. A mysterious old woman appears while he is drinking water from a river, asking him about his regret for killing so many people, including Maki's husband. Maki abruptly vanishes, prompting Manji to interrupt his conversation with the elderly woman and go in search of her. A group of bounty hunters is holding her hostage in exchange for his head. Manji annihilates everyone after they injure Maki fatally. He is severely injured, has lost a hand, and wishes to die next to his sister's body. The mysterious old woman comes back and introduces herself as Yabikuni. Despite Manji's request that she end his life, she injects him with sacred bloodworms, which heal his wounds, even reattach his hand, and make him ageless and immortal. Ito Ryu, an association of expert swordsmen led by Anotsu Kagehisa, is determined to conquer every dojo, or martial arts academy, in the country 50 years later. If the dojo members refused Ito Ryu's offer, they would be slaughtered. Kagehisa quickly takes down Master Asano in a fast battle and abducts his wife, but warns his men not to touch Asano's young daughter, Rin. Despite her family's reservations, Rin is eager to learn sword fighting. Rin, who is alone in her grief, swears to avenge her parents. At her father's grave, the Yabikuni appears before her and suggests she recruit an immortal, skillful samurai as her bodyguard. She seems to be determined and tries very hard to find him, however Manji initially refuses to work for her. He no longer wants to murder people, but he feels sorry for Rin and accepts to accompany her home. Along the way, they come across Kuroi Sabato, an Ito Ryu member who tortured and kidnapped Rin's mother. He gives Rin some of her mother's hair and even displays her severed head, which he wears on his shoulder. As Sabato prepares to take Rin with him, Manji appears and defeats him. Sabato delivers a fatal blow to Manji, but thanks to his abilities, Manji is able to recover himself, leaving Rin speechless. Manji admits to training Rin and guarding her until she is able to avenge her parents. Kagehisa meets with Hibaki, a government representative, to discuss a deal that would place Ito Ryu inside the shogunate as well as make him the head of the new martial arts academy. He then learns of Sabato's death and is perplexed because he knows Rin is not skilled enough to take down one of his best assassins. Meanwhile, in the town market, Rin is sharpening Manji's knives and daggers when she notices a man wielding her father's sword. Taito Magatsu is the man sent by Kagehisa to deal with Kuroi's murderers. Manji learns about him from Rin and rushes to confront Magatsu. Manji wins the fight, injuring Magatsu severely. After mistaking Rin for Maki, Rin discovers that she reminds Manji of his deceased sister, though he refuses to discuss it further. Magatsu is treated at the Ito Ryu base and reports to Kagehisa that an immortal swordsman has been hired as Rin's bodyguard. Rin and Manji are traveling to a village and stopping for a meal. When another Ito Ryu swordsman, Iku Shitsuma, disguised as a monk, approaches Manji, he is reading a map of every dojo conquered by the Ito Ryu. He expresses his desire for Manji to join him in order for them to defeat Kagehisa together. Manji declines the offer because his gut instinct tells him that something is wrong. Shitsuma, enraged, draws his sword, and they fight ruthlessly. Shitsuma, it turns out, is also immortal for a longer period of time than Manji. He poisons his sword to weaken the bloodworms and slows Manji's ability to heal himself. Despite his desire to end his immortality, Manji is determined to protect Rin and defeat Shitsuma. Manji and Rin later run into Miike, another Itoryu member, at the town market. Despite having the upper hand, Miike could not bring herself to murder Manji, despite having severed his limbs. She questions Itoryu's motives, then notices Rin standing up for Manji despite the fact that she is not as skilled as him. Miike decides against ending their lives and departs. Manji can still recover, albeit slowly. He chastises Rin for defending himself when she is not supposed to. He tells her to train alone because he has an appointment that day to visit Maki's grave. Rin wanders alone before meeting Kagehisa. She is taken aback when he does not attack her. He explains that he murdered her father in order to exact revenge on his grandfather. Because he used an axe, which was recognized an outsider weapon and unsuitable for their fighting style, Kagehisa's grandfather was expelled from the dojo led by Rin's great-grandfather. When Rin returns to Manji's crib, he does not tell him that he met Kagehisa and learned the truth about their ancestors. The following day, Rin and Manji come across Maguire, another swordsman clan, after witnessing one of its members, Shira, beat another Itoryu member. Shira takes them to Maguire's hideout, where they meet the other members. They explain that they must remain hidden so that Itoryu does not realize they have two enemies, and then invite Manji and Rin to join them in defeating Itoryu. Kagehisa will go to Mount Takao based on their spy posing as an Itoryu member. They devise a strategy to attack him along his route, dividing themselves into two groups that will take opposing routes. Manji, Rin, and Shira have all been grouped together. They notice a mysterious figure resembling Kagehisa along the way and prepare to attack him. Shira strikes him in the face with a blow from a woman hired by the Itoryu. At the same time, other Itoryu members emerge from behind the trees, realizing they are trapped. Manji and Shira battle the Itoryu members until all of them are defeated. Shira then attempts to harass the hired woman. Rin defends her, but Shira quickly injures her. Fortunately, before Shira can do anything with Rin, Manji breaks one of his hands, allowing him to flee. Due to their opposing principles, Manji recognizes he cannot work with the Maguire, particularly Shira. Manji returns home to treat Rin's wounds and tell her his entire story. His superior ordered him to kill several men, who turned out to be the man who would have reported his superior's crimes. Manji betrayed his superior and murdered him and his bodyguards because he believed he was working for the wrong cause. One of his bodyguards turned out to be Maki's husband. His death had a profound effect on her, driving her insane, and Manji took her under his care. He threatens Rin that if she stands up again to defend him, he will stop working for her. Rin flees the next day, believing she has only caused Manji trouble, and continues her quest for vengeance on her own while Manji is outside. Other Maguire approach him and inquire about Shira's whereabouts. He explains that he is unable to continue working with them. They demonstrate that they must defeat Itoryu because they face execution by the government. Manji rushes after Rin after realizing she's gone. Meanwhile, Kagehisa reaches Mount Takao and meets with Ibane Kenshui, the head of Shinkato Ryu. Although he is warmly welcomed, he soon learns that they will not join Itoryu. Disappointed, he leaves, while his comrades back home celebrate his supposedly successful deal. Turns out Hibaki has betrayed the Itoryu by sending government swordsmen to capture Kagehisa and the Itoryu clan. The entire Itoryu clan is annihilated at their base while Kagehisa, running from the army, encounters Rin, and takes no interest in her as he is busy fighting government swordsmen. Rin has no choice but to follow him in order to protect herself. Kagehisa and Rin arrive at a village teeming with an army led by Hibaki. Rin screams at the army for lacking honor by attacking Kagehisa in an uneven fight and demands that the battle be a fair one-on-one sword fight. Hibaki orders his men to keep Rin quiet. Fortunately, Manji arrives and defeats her attackers, though he is perplexed as to why Rin hasn't already exacted his revenge on Kagehisa and appears to be protecting him instead. Rin informs him that it is now his duty to defeat anyone who dares to attack her. Manji, Rin, and Kagehisa engage in combat with Hibaki and his men. Manji survives despite being seriously wounded and bleeding in several places, while Kagehisa fights flawlessly. Shira appears during the fight and kidnaps Rin, avenging Manji for severing one of his limbs. Manji exits the battle to confront Shira once more. He deceives Shira by handing over all of his swords and daggers, but he conceals a small dart that he uses to free Rin from Shira's grasp. Shira is then sent to his death by falling off a cliff.
Shira!
Meanwhile, Miike arrives on the scene and assists Kagehisa. She detects gunpowder and positions herself to prevent bullets from striking Kagehisa, sacrificing herself in the process. He keeps fighting until only Hibaki is left. Despite being weakened and heavily bleeding, Kagehisa manages to sever Hibaki's upper body. He then runs into Manji and Rin again, thanking them for saving him from Hibaki's men. Manji now wants to fight him properly, achieving his quest to avenge Rin's parents. They battle ruthlessly. But Manji comes out on top. He offers Rin his final fatal blow so she can truly avenge his parents, but Rin hesitates, prompting Kagehisa to counterattack her. Manji, fortunately, positions himself in her path, taking the hit. Rin stabs Kagehisa in the chest with lightning speed. Rin weeps for Manji, whom she believes is dying after Kagehisa's final breath. She bemoans the fact that he does not keep his promise to die after her. Manji is still alive, despite his severe wounds, and tells her that she should call him Big Brother, as Maki did. Subscribe to see more videos like this, enable notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching. Leave a